La 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 la. I think you get the idea. Welcome, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by once again, coming your way to do a readings and my thoughts on the readings from this official Splatter Movie Guide, distributed by Fan Taco and written by John McCarty. So yeah, this is the second in the series of doing this. The first time this book appeared on the channel was in my review for Blood Diner, and then the second time you saw this book was in my readings of some Christmas slasher films. Basically the only ones I could think of to find in here: Silent Night, Bloody Night, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. This book was published before Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3 was released, so it only has the first two in here. And then I thought, well, it only makes sense to stop on by days, weeks later, whatever, to basically and read and give my thoughts on his thoughts on some of the only basically New Year's horror movies that exist and that I can think of, and two of which I think I'm only really aware of two of them, and both of them that I can think of, at least off the top of my head, are in here: New Year's Evil and Bloody New Year. I think it says Bloody New Year is like the late 80s on this one. So we will do some readings of his thoughts, John McCarty's thoughts on New Year's Evil, and then Bloody New Year, and then I'll share my thoughts on his thoughts. As we can see here, whoa, this is a short synopsis. New Year's Evil, Canon Films, 1980. Look at how small his paragraph is for this. That's kind of disappointing. Psychopathic killer goes on a cross-country murder spree, timing each of his, orgies of, bloodletting to occur at midnight so that they can coincide with local coverage of a coast-to-coast New Year's Eve TV special. Kelly, the host of the special, was once a regular on TV's Happy Days during Happier Days. Okay, well that's a really short spiel on New Year's Evil. I guess he doesn't think very much of it at all, and I probably didn't the first time I saw it. First time I saw New Year's Evil was New Year's Eve, 2000. So to ring in the 21st century, I was watching New Year's Evil, and admittedly I didn't think much of it at the time, but I'd since go on to become an annual classic. I bought several VHS tapes off eBay way before it was available on print-on-demand DVD. Then it came out luckily on Blu-ray and stuff. So I've got the original theatrical poster, like a Mexican lobby card, and I've since gone New Year's Evil crazy, and I think more or less watch it once every year. You can probably tell what time of year, or possibly even what day I revisit this every year. But yeah, that might be one of his. That's definitely the shortest spiel I've read from him yet, and we can kind of deduce that he didn't think much of it. That's really surprising. Maybe it was that time of the month for him, or who knows what. Maybe it had just been dumped. But I think there's more fun to be had in New Year's Evil than he kind of leads on in his spiel. That's for darn sure. As we can see here on page 18, Bloody New Year, Academy Entertainment, 1987. If it weren't for its unusually banal dialogue, even for a splatter movie, stiff acting, and an inability to keep us interested in what happens to the characters, Bloody New Year might have been a winner. The splatter effects are proficient, and there are some clever camera and editing tricks, such as when an apparition jumps out of a movie screen to claw a victim to death. 5 teens on an outing wreck their boat and take refuge on a remote island hotel that is decorated inside for a New Year's Eve party circa 1959. Illusion and reality blur a la the Elm Street movies, as the terrified teens experience an indoor snowstorm, a marauding rope, and an array of violent poltergeist activity, and turn into ghouls. It seems that back in '59, the British government sent up a plane with a device capable of altering time. And the plane crashed near the hotel, trapping everyone inside in a perpetual time warp, which is what happens to the teens as well, despite their best efforts to get away. Not being a huge fan of Bloody New Year, I more or less agree with, what the hell's his name? John McCarty's take on Bloody New Year. Indeed, there's some really cool editing and visual sight gags and effects and stuff. But having a movie that takes place on New Year's on a tropical island, I mean, I guess I'm just biased because I'm from Minnesota, but just doesn't really fit the, the New Year's Eve whatever thing for me. Of course, there's people who live in warm climates who have a tropical New Year, I guess, and stuff. So for them, this movie might not be as weird to watch as it is for me. Even with New Year's Evil, I mean, it took place in California, and it's obviously not that cold or not that snowy or not snowy at all. But so I didn't have as much of a problem with that. But seeing palm trees and beaches and waves and stuff on a New Year's horror movie just kind of put me off. So I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I reviewed this movie. It should be said that like all these titles that I'm reading out of this book, I mean, I've probably reviewed on this channel, so don't think don't ask, have you, it'd be nice to see your review. Like, I'm pretty sure I've reviewed all of these titles, like Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2, and, New Year's Evil, certainly, and Bloody New Year and stuff. So feel free to, after this video, to go on over and check my reviews proper of those films. But, yeah, I more or less agree with his synopsis or spiel on Bloody New Year, something that while I appreciate its technical achievements and things, it's not something I revisit, definitely not something I revisit on an annual basis, that's for darn sure. So I guess that pretty much does it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, we'll catch you on the next video.